My top NBA 2023-2024 storylines are as follows. But before we talk about the storylines, I got to give y'all one, the criteria, and then two, well, the tiers, right? Because it's always levels to this. It's always levels to this. So for starters, we have my top storylines, like the top five, all right? That's the top tier. Then you got the entertaining ones, okay? That's that next five. And then finally, of course, the honorable mentions. And again, these are the storylines, the top storylines that at least I'll be covering for 2023 and 2024. Will there be some anomalies? Yes. Will there be some ones that I talk about also? Sure. But these are the ones that I'm focusing on. So I hope you all are ready because we're about to talk about the criteria and y'all know how that goes. So my first point for the criteria, it's got to hit, well, the masses. If these storylines are not going to be able to captivate you, or you, like, why would it really matter? Like it's got to be entertaining. And speaking of entertaining as well, it's also got to be entertaining, not just to the casual fans, but the basketball fans. Those basketball fans who, like myself, follow the draft, follow the free agency, follow the contracts, hell, even read documentation like that you don't really care to so much. Like, come on now. So if it's hitting both of those two entities, well, we good. So I gave y'all the listing, the tiers, and then I gave y'all the criteria. So now we got to go ahead and kick off this year's top NBA storylines, at least for my show. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So look, my top five focus this year. Top five storylines for the NBA season, at least for me. And well, I think the media and the masses, pretty much anybody should be loving these storylines. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about them, shall we? Now, we're gonna have to kick it off. We're gonna have to kick it off. Do I want to do my team? I'm gonna do my team, my Los Angeles Lakers. You know what I mean? Because we got a lot of storylines actually, but I'm gonna focus on just a couple because I could be up here for a while. So we have here, well, Anthony Davis, right? Is he going to take on the mantle? Is he going to be the guy? Is he going to essentially dominate? Because when Anthony Davis is dominating, bro, he's a top five player in the league. Like offensively and defensively, well, really, there's not a better two-way player you can make an argument for. You could say Giannis, you could say Kawhi, you can make an argument for Anthony Davis as well. So again, it will Anthony Davis dominate? And I think based on last year, you have a recipe. You have a recipe for success. I don't want to get too emotional. I don't want to get too invested. I'm just saying it's a possibility. It's a strong possibility. Because we were talking about how he was playing like, every other game. It's like, where he at? Or his health factors, right? His health issues, his health woes. Well, now, as long as that you can't control health, like a little bit, but you got to do it. You can't manage that, but so much. So as long as he's healthy, I do expect him to have a chip on the shoulder, have a better team around, for him to be more engaged, and us to not talk about LeBron James as much. Like, we still gonna talk about Bron. Don't get it twisted. All right, like LeBron James is still a top 10 player in the league, but he's getting older. We need to pass that mantle off at some point in time. Should have done it a long time ago. Health was a factor. I get it. I hear you. That's the storyline for me. Will we be able to talk about Anthony Davis more than we do LeBron James, at least in the game of basketball? Outside of hoops, maybe not. But the game of basketball, will he be more relevant for my Lakers than Bron? And he has the talent to do so. Also, I ain't gonna talk about Bron too much. So we got here other role players. Well, who gonna step up and be that quote unquote third banana? I know people want to talk about Austin Reeves, but don't sleep on people like Christian Wood. All right, because Christian Wood is pretty solid. We still got D'Lo. There's a bunch of players we have on the team. Who gonna show up? And I don't want to hear, oh, you'll have an inconsistent third option. No, I don't want to hear that. I need a consistent third option. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing from my Lakers. Because if we can have all that occur, where Bron's now my second banana, AD's at the top of the charts, and we got a consistent third option, we got enough depth to get to the finals. So that's why I say this is a top five storyline. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is a contending team. And I'm not being biased because I'm a fan. Matter of fact, I took my Laker jersey off just to show y'all I ain't being biased about this one. So, it's top storyline. You got to focus on the Lakers this season. They're going to be doing big things, barring injury. And even still, if they have injury, they have the depth to kind of to not fall too far back. But, you know, depending on what injuries happen, you know, that's another story for another day. But now we can go ahead and talk about the rivals of the Los Angeles Lakers, my Los Angeles Lakers. And that would be the Boston Celtics. Because here, well, the Celtics actually, and I kind of wanted to put them in that fourth spot, they have a big four. Like, well, do they? We may have to talk about that for a second because you got here Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, and Drew Holiday. I know a lot of y'all are looking at Drew Holiday as like, whoa, Drew? Well, Drew's actually been one of the most, if not the most, disrespected players in the game. And NBA players have said that. Hell, even Andre Iguodala said that recently. So if I'm looking at that team, they've been to the finals, not this team, but like this Celtics squad, the young core, has been to the finals already. They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals. They've had a lot of success. They are now entering the prime years, ladies and gentlemen. So that's going to beg the question, well, will they win it this year? It's a championship or bust year for them. Is that plain and simple? Going forward, that's my expectations for the Boston Celtics. Championship or bust. You have Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, arguably one of the best duos in the game. And they could convince folk this season they're the best. I know people talking about Jaylen Brown's left hand. He's also bringing in 26 points a game. So, I mean, and an elite level defender. So, again, when we're talking about this Celtics team, Big Four does come to mind, and the championship should be underway. But we also have, okay, I hear you. Like, you might need more players because you have Al Horford who's getting older. What's Peyton Pritchard going to do? I get that. Hell, you might even say Derek White was probably having a lucky year last year. Nah, he didn't. He actually had a pretty productive year last year. I expect him to do something similar. But they got enough bench presence to get over that hump. So I feel like it's sufficient. Could it be better? Yes. But the Celtics will have enough talent to make them a contender this season, and they will be entertaining. They could have 4 All-Stars this year. They should have 3, but no, could have 3. Could have 3 or 4. I'll say that. I was trying to figure because KP could play up to All-Star level too, and Drew Holiday could get some love as well if the Celtics are at the top of the charts, bro. I'm just saying the Celtics are that dangerous. So that's what I'm saying. You need to watch out for them. I know people are talking about on other teams, but Celtics, they are a team as well. Now, we got to talk about here the Phoenix Suns. We got to talk about the Phoenix Suns because, okay, I know I mentioned about big foes with the Boston Celtics, but this Sun team did have a big 4 at one point in time. Now have a solid big 3 with more depth. And it does actually beg a couple of questions. One, can they dominate? Like, can this big 3 actually dominate? The NBA is getting better, ladies and gentlemen. There's more talent across the board. You got Kevin Durant, who's getting older. He's injury prone. You got D-Book, who's entering or who's in his prime. He's had a couple of injuries. Bradley Beal, he's getting a little older, like 31, I believe, 32. He's had some injury issues. So not just from a talent perspective, can they dominate, but can they actually dominate? And then will they be able to gel together? I'm hearing trepidation around, they're all around. They're all similar players. I believe they can play together. I mean, you're skilled players who know how to put the ball in the bucket. Like, come on now, they can all get a bucket. They can all play make. Yes, they can all play together. But there's trepidation around it. So we got to see what happens. But again, can they dominate? We'll see. Next, who gonna be that Bruce Brown player for them? Remember that, the Denver Nuggets, they won the championship, but Bruce Brown was arguably one of the most important players because he was doing a lot of the dirty work. He was at times leading the offense, scoring and assisting, doing a lot of the dirty work on the defensive end, not just hustle plays, but like defensively guarding the best perimeter players and the best wing players as well, out rebounding other teams. Like, who's going to be that guy for the Suns? I have no damn idea. I have not a clue. Like, initially I was going to say, well, maybe DeAndre Ayton could have done it, but he's gone. So now who's going to be it? That's a question mark. I might say Nasir Little has a shot. Bol could be, but Bol seemed too lazy. Like, at least that's word around the street. And I don't want him guarding everybody on the perimeter. He got mobility, but it's going to be interesting to see who they throw. Like Josh Okogie, I know is the first person that comes to mind because he's been that role right now. That's going to be enough to get them over the hump. And again, I like this Sun team. They're a contending team. Hell, Kevin Durant's arguably my favorite player in the NBA right now next to Steph Curry. They do have to prove some stuff, though. But this is going to be a storyline to focus on because this, like I said, they're a contending team that more than likely will get to the playoffs. We just got to see what happens come that health time and who's going to step up for them for their roster. That's going to be it could be drama or it could be beauty. We'll see what happens. Now, we're going to have to talk about the Bucks. We have to talk about the Bucks, bro, because I don't know if they duo is as good as people thinking it is. Like, and when they say duo, you got Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I understand them brothers can give you 30 points apiece and like 6-7 assists each. I get that. That's a lot. They did lose a little bit. I don't believe in Chris Middleton as much. They lost Grayson Allen, who actually was a good two-guard for them. Brook Lopez is getting a little older. But more importantly, there's a lot of pressure on this team to figure it out in the next 2 seasons. And I mean, honestly, I could see Giannis losing a title for the next 2 seasons. So you have to convince me that the Milwaukee Bucks is the best destination for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because in 3 seasons, this brother could leave and go anywhere he wants. So the next 2 seasons, bringing in Damian Lillard was quite pivotal, but it's pressure now to win that championship. And then if you don't win that championship, well, hey, does Dame stay? What happens? Like, you're going to have to rebuild because Giannis is going bye-bye. So I have question marks around this NBA duo. Where does it actually rank amongst the NBA? Because we're talking about other duos out here. They got to showcase that they're the best duo. But that's going to be a storyline because, again, like I said earlier, they both can give you 30 points. Like, that's 60 points and 16 assists between 2 players. That's disgusting. So if that's what we're looking at, factoring with they do have a contending team. They were the number 1 seed last year. It's not too hard to assume they're going to be talked about this year. They got the star status. You also traded away Drew Holiday, who's now on the Boston Celtics. So if you think that they're not going to be talked about, just off the strength of the Celtics and vice versa, I don't know what to tell you. But that's going to be a storyline to focus on this season. It's a top one. Because, again, I'm already hearing Dame and Giannis as the best NBA duo right now without playing. Like, before preseason hit, that's what I was hearing. So that's got to be a storyline. Because now if they don't win it, hey, after all that trash Dame was talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, what y'all going to do? And Lord, please don't let y'all sit up here and get lower than the Portland Trailblazers. It's not going to happen, but just don't let it happen. That's all I'm saying. There's anything that happens, you can't let that happen. You can't. I don't care what happens, dog. Can't. But like I said, that's a little far-fetched too. I just want to make sure that's the case. That's worst case though. That's absolute ball. Like, you might as well retire before that happened, Dave. But now we got to talk about the top storyline. and I think it would be a little unfair if we didn't mention them as such, which is the Denver Nuggets, right? Will they repeat? Will they run it back? You know what I'm saying? Because, well, they do have at least perceived to be the best NBA duo in Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Okay, you know they won a championship. You can say that about them, right? Will they run it back? Like, will they be able to use that same one-trick pony to get over the hump? By the way, they don't have Bruce Brown and Jeff Green no more, so they would actually have to dominate. That could be tough because, like I said, other teams are getting better and improving. So, will they be able to? That's another story for another day. Or will they be able to dominate better than other NBA duos? Well, I mean, you know, if that doesn't happen, they at least got some talent to bank on, but we need to see this occur. Michael Porter Jr., you got to stop falling. You have to stop falling in love with Tracy, okay? I'm going to need you to get in the car and drive right fast, all right? Be a little bit more forceful, too. Like, floor it by dadgummit. Like, floor that mug. Because I'm tired of seeing you just shooting the ball and settling. You about a 6'10 small forward, but really a shooting guard. Because you playing like you just shooting the ball all the time. And I'm tired of seeing you're settling way too much. You should be averaging 22 points a game, at least 3-4 assists, 8 rebounds, more effort on the defensive end, especially with blocks. Like, that's what I'm looking at. So if we can get you to elevate in that capacity, the Nuggets might have some. But then I'm also looking at their depth too, because, well, outside of their starting five, which is Jamal Murray, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic, who else you got? I mean, Christian Braun is out there, and that's cool. They got Reggie Jackson too. I think they had Reggie last year, though, and they didn't use him. Do they still have Thomas Bryant? Like, you see where I'm going with this? I know they got Jalen Pickett. He's a rookie this year. The depth is my question mark. Like 5 through 10, 6 through 10, I have question marks. Even with Christian Braun, I have question marks. Good young player, show some promise. You got to prove some stuff. So this is a storyline because if they could repeat, that would be quite interesting. And I think people are kind of looking at this team as like the new age Spurs. So if they do run it back, hey, dog, like maybe they might be the new age Spurs. But this is the storyline to focus on because you also got Jokic in it. You know, if they dominating, is Jokic not in the MVP discussion? And Jamal Murray, if he's not dominating, he might be in the All-NBA category. Definitely an All-Star category. So these are my top storylines, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be focusing on all of these all year long. Honorable mentions, I'll give a little, I'll give a little sham too. The entertaining ones, I might try to make it a little funny. And then the top focus, well, I'm gonna be focused. Links are in on them bad boys. But if y'all got any other stories that y'all think I should be following or that I should be paying attention to, please let me know. But also, please like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone about the show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. Hope you all are having a good one. Take care.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, kid.